From New York. And you might have seen me online this week making this face before I lost it on Scott Jennings for minimizing the horrendous and sickening crimes in the Epstein files. But I wanted to show you the moment that came right before. The moment that got my face like this.
Right, today marks 1 month since the Justice Department was required by law to release all of the Epstein files. So far, it's released less than 1%. The law, Scott says, that the Justice Department shall release all the Epstein files, not can if it wants to or gets around to it.
Yeah, what's the punishment if they don't?
That's a great point. I mean, that's a problem.
There is none.
Did you hear it? Did you see? The administration is breaking the law, hiding the evidence of probably the most far-reaching child sex trafficking operation in history. And the MAGA position, which is what Scott represents, is so what? What are you going to do if we break the law and run cover for pedophiles and rapists and murderers? Nothing. Play it again.
Yeah, what's the punishment if they don't?
That's a great point. I mean, that's a problem.
There is none.
Did you see this mark? These people think they're going to get away with it, and they think it's funny. And that's what made my face do this.
They should follow the law, but let's not get our knickers in a twist here.
Yeah, let's not get our knickers in a twist over child rape. Why are you talking like that? It's insane.
And let's be clear. 2 days after this heated exchange went viral, the Republicans in the Oversight Committee voted no on a motion to hold Pam Bondi and the DOJ in contempt of Congress for violating the Epstein Files Transparency Act, for not releasing what they are responsible to release, for not telling us why they redacted what they redacted. The Republicans voted to not hold the people responsible for breaking the law responsible. So to Scott's point, what are we going to do about it?
What's the punishment if they don't?
That's a great point. I mean, that's a problem.
There is none.
Well, fuck that. These people are running cover for monsters, for true evil. Two of the people mentioned in the recent Sasha Riley testimony that was leaked online are on the committee that voted no. I honestly feel like we're in the upside down. Every single one of you that's in Congress that isn't in these files should be walking around with this face and this energy, because I'm just a citizen of this country, but you are a representative. You are the only ones who can do something about it. So do something about it. At the very least, if you are looking to round out child rapists and murderers, then you might want to get the hell out of Minnesota and get back into these files.
And what Trump's going to do is declare victory, right? He's going to declare victory. But that doesn't mean the win. He's just going to say the Democrats, more of our people vote early than count. Theirs voted May. And so they're going to have a natural disadvantage, and Trump's going to take advantage of that. That's our strategy. He's going to turn himself a winner. So when you wake up Wednesday morning, it's going to be a fire. Also, if Trump is losing by 10 or 11 o'clock at night, it's going to be even crazier. I'm directing the Attorney General to shut down all ballot places in all 50 states. He's not going out easy. If Biden's winning, Trump is going to do some crazy shit.
I remember maybe a week after the election was called, I popped into the Oval just to give the president the headlines and see how he was doing. And he was looking at the TV and he said, "Can you believe I lost to this effing guy?"
Mark Marty's working on the A-team. And so following that conversation with the motivator, I driving back to the White House. And I said, "Does the president really think he lost?" And he said, "A lot of times he'll tell me that he lost because he wants to keep fighting." And he thinks that there might be enough to overturn the election, but he pretty much just acknowledged that he's lost.
Knowing that he had lost and that he had only...
So we're in the Oval and there's a discussion going on. And the president says, I think it could have been Pompeo, but he says words to the effect of, yeah, we lost, we need to let that issue go to the next guy, meaning President Trump.
I was in the Oval Office, and at some point in the conversation, Matt Oskowski, who was the lead data person, was brought on. And I remember he delivered to the president pretty blunt terms that he was going to lose.
And that was based, Mr. Miller, on MAG and the data team's assessment of the sort of county by county, state by state results as reported?
Correct.
At times, President Trump acknowledged the reality of his loss. Although he publicly claimed he had won the election, privately he admitted that Joe Biden would take over as president. Here's a few examples of that.
So we're in the Oval Room, there's a discussion going on. And the president says, I think it could have been Pompeo, but he says words to the effect of, yeah, we lost, we need to let that issue go to the next guy, meaning President Biden.
Other Americans. The investigation has been sweeping. Smith's team interviewing election officials in at least 5 states, probing an alleged effort to install slates of fake electors, and interviewing the former president's closest aides for a window into his mindset in the weeks after he lost the election. They want to know, did Trump know he had lost the election, and was he illegally trying to overturn the results anyway? Witnesses like Cassidy Hutchinson, the top aide to former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, have publicly testified that Trump knew.
He had said something to the effect of, I don't want people to know we lost. This is embarrassing. Figure it out. We need to figure it out. I don't want people to know that we lost.
Please recognize that President Donald Trump was in a unique position, better informed about the absence of widespread election fraud than almost any other American. President Trump's own campaign experts told him that there was no evidence to support his claims. His own Justice Department appointees investigated the election fraud claims and told him, point blank, they were false.
And I don't want to cause any controversy, so I won't say no names. But this motherfucker, Donald Trump, I can't stand. Before we get into this next song, lady, we would like to request something of you. When I say fuck, you say Trump. Fuck. Fuck. When I say fuck, you say Trump. Fuck. Fuck. Cause he's got our country fucked up.
Why do you have to swear at me?
What's that?
Why do you have to swear at me?
Oh, dude, don't pretend like you're not real. Fuck yourself.
Well, why do you have to lose your cool like that? I've been always professional with you. Every single time I communicate with you, I am always professional with you. And it requires other people to contain your Tourette's syndrome. Okay?
I'm not gonna get it.
You threaten my family. Oh, have I? Why are you so spasmodic?
Why spasmodic?
Absolutely. Look behind you. Do so. Why should I? I'm communicating with you. I'm trying to calm you down. Right? Look at your face. You can't even control yourself. You can't even be a man. You see how many people are constraining you? Look at me. Total control over my mind and body. Total control over my mind and body, and I'm totally dominating you right now.
Sir.
Totally dominating you.
Sir, step aside.
I'm not. This guy threatened my family, threatened my children, threatened to rape my children. Oh, really? Rape my children, you sick bastard. Look at him. Rape my children. More people need to control him.
Thank you, Officer Fanon. Mr. Chairman, please control the deranged observer, Mr. Rakeland, so he doesn't create any other problems with us today.
You know, it was the Republicans who agreed to this hearing. They agreed that this should be in public and on television. And, you know, it's possible they're only watching right-wing pro-Trump news. And so they haven't heard much about what Jack Smith actually did in his investigation. They may not know much about who he actually is and how he speaks. I don't know why Republicans agreed to do this today. But I'm guessing they did not expect that Jack Smith would just spell it out like this so clearly. Spell it out. The evidence he found and the conclusions that he drew about the president's criminal behavior.
Did your investigation find that Donald Trump attempted to manufacture fraudulent slates of presidential electors in 7 states that he lost?
Yes.
Did he pressure state officials to ignore true vote counts in those states?
Yes.
Did he spread lies and conspiracies to his followers to make them believe that the election had been illegally rigged against him?
Yes.
Did he pressure DOJ officials to stop the certification of the election?
He did.
Did he pressure his own vice president, Mike Pence, to stop the certification against the oath of office that he had sworn to the Constitution?
He did.
And when all of this didn't work, did he, Donald Trump, motivate and inspire an angry mob to the U.S. Capitol to stop the certification?
Our proof showed that he caused what happened on January 6th, that it was foreseeable, and that he exploited that violence.
Did Donald Trump know that his allegations of election fraud were lies when he spread them?
Our proof was that he did, and he intended to prove that at trial.
Mr. Smith, if your case had gone to trial, would the evidence from Georgia have helped prove that President Trump knowingly engaged in a criminal scheme to overturn the 2020 election?
Yes. After an investigation following the facts and the law, we believed we had proof beyond a reasonable doubt to prove those charges. Rather than accept his defeat in the 2020 election, President Trump engaged in a criminal scheme to overturn the results and prevent the lawful transfer of power. Our investigation developed proof beyond a reasonable doubt that President Trump engaged in criminal activity. We followed the facts and we followed the law. Where that led us was to an indictment of an unprecedented criminal scheme to block the peaceful transfer of power. But you are correct that the only person charged in this case was Donald Trump, who, in my estimation, was the person most culpable for the crimes charged.
Everybody's been all gingerly here today. But I don't know why we're acting surprised that a man who had close to 90 allegations out of 4 different jurisdictions and ultimately ended up with 34 convictions after a jury was able to hear all the evidence would possibly be committing a criminal act on January 6th. In fact, considering the fact that we are now under the impression that he is violating people's due process rights, he is ignoring court orders, he's starting wars without congressional authority in contradiction to the Constitution. He's enriching himself to the tune of over $1.4 billion. He's shaking down electeds to draw maps that will help him stay in power because the Republicans don't understand that they swore an oath to the Constitution and that we are supposed to do checks and balances. He's also shaking down TV stations to get money. So why are we trying to pretend as if it is out of the realm for this particular man to commit the crime that he committed on January 6th, and frankly, the only reason he ran for president was to make sure that he would not be prosecuted, because I fully believe that she would have put him under the jail based on our long-form conversation that we had.
They talk about weaponization. They accuse you of weaponization of the justice system. While the Federal Reserve Board chairman rings the alarm about political retaliation by this Department of Justice. Mr. Smith, I don't know if you're aware of this. I don't know if your counsel has made you aware. That President Trump is live tweeting, I guess you call it truth socialing, as we speak. Are you aware of this, about this hearing?
No.
Let me read to you what he posted an hour and a half ago. Deranged Jack Smith is being decimated before Congress. It was over when they discussed his past failures and unfair prosecutions. He destroyed many lives under the guise of legitimacy. Jack Smith is a deranged animal who shouldn't be allowed to practice law. If you're a Republican, his license would be taken away from him, and far worse. Hopefully the Attorney General is looking at what he's done. We have a word for this. It's called weaponization. It's called corruption. Mr. Smith, if you care to respond, I'll give you an opportunity, but I will simply say we are grateful for your service to this country. We appreciate your fidelity to the rule of law, and I would echo the comments that have been made by my Democratic colleagues to ignore the noise that you hear from so many of my colleagues who would debase themselves in this way. It is, in my view, subversive of the oaths that we took to defend the Constitution. I'm happy to give you an opportunity, Mr. Smith, if you'd like to respond.
I don't have anything to add.
Thank you for your service.
Here are some quotes, because I heard one of my colleagues call you a hypocrite. Here are some quotes from my colleagues. Chairman Jordan, right after January 6th, stop the violence, support Capitol Police. Ted Cruz, those storming the Capitol need to stop right now. The Constitution protects but not violence. Chip Roy, today the People's House was attacked, which is an attack on the Republic itself. Steve Scalise, the United States Capitol Police saved my life. Lindsey Graham, when it comes to accountability, the president needs to understand his actions were the problem. Troy Nels, oh my God, him again. I'm happy to stand shoulder to shoulder with Capitol Police. Darrell Issa, the violence and turmoil we witnessed in Washington, D.C. was completely unacceptable. Rep. McClintock, the attack on Capitol strikes the most sacred act of our democracy. And former Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, whose name we heard a lot today, what did he have to say about it? Let me be clear, last week's violence attack on the Capitol was undemocratic, un-American, and criminal, and make no mistake, those who were responsible should be brought to justice. The president bears responsibility. Period. Or exclamation point.
No! Stop! Stop! What is your name? What is your name? Get the fuck out of here! Come on, man! Show your fucking face! Bitch ass pussy!
What you trying to do? They have applications. They're here.
Put your phone in my face. Don't put your phone in my face.
Why would you push somebody?
Stay arm's length away from me. Stay arm's length away from me.
I
Next time I'll take you into custody. I don't know who you played with in the past, but I'll take you in.
I'm an attorney.
I don't care. I don't care. If you violate the law, guess what, immigration attorney? You'll be standing in court too.
I'm standing right here.
Yeah, 18 U.S.C. 111. You get my face.
These guys have active asylum applications. There's nothing wrong with them. Why are you trying to pick them up? So why are you trying to pick them up? You have no idea. It's not legal. It is my business. I'm their attorney. It's exactly my business. Get the fuck out of this apartment. Get out of here. Just leave. These guys are here legally. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. You're funny. What are you trying to do? I'm arm's length.
Yeah, good. You learned your lesson.
So get out of
You're
here.
a wise attorney.
Get the fuck out. Go. Can't believe you're not afraid to show your face. Get out of here. You must not be from around here. You're touching your pepper spray? You gonna pepper spray me? Do you have a warrant?
So under the
No, do you have a warrant? Yeah, the fuck you do. Get out. Get out. Yeah, it's illegal. It's against due process. Get out. It is.
If you develop
You are not an attorney. Get out.
you would know that we could take the person in
Why are you
custody.
without arm's length? You just came out to me. So back off. Arm's length. Right now. Don't you dare push me again. Get the fuck out! ICE's here! ICE's here! Do not come out! Get the fuck out now!
We go where we want to go, and we stay as long as we want to stay.
Because you're such tough guys. You're such tough guys.
Maybe you should just walk your hide.
Get out.
And then we probably leave.
Just get out.
We're just.
You show me a warrant.
You're funny.
You show me a warrant. No. Show me a paper that you can pick up these specific people. There is due process, and you guys are not following it. So get in your car and get the fuck out.
There are also conditions of release.
You have no idea what these people are here on.
You have no idea.
No, I do because I'm their attorney.
So what were the
So get out. I'm not telling you because you don't know.
They were alternative.
Get out.
Right? Alternative.
No, get out.
We're gonna go arrest some people.
You have no idea what it is. Get the fuck out of here. And try and grow. This isn't good for your living.
I know you're trying to get under my skin.
No, I care. I care about people. All right, so get in your car and leave. Where are you coming in from?
That's none of your business.
No? You care about people.
We have some significant news right now. A massive general strike has officially begun in the state of Minnesota. This general strike will close down businesses, parents will not be shopping, children will not be going to school, all to protest ICE, to protest the Trump administration, to protest what has been happening on the ground in Minnesota. And it all comes as ICE is escalating efforts on the ground targeting children in Minneapolis, now targeting police officers in a state like Maine and more. But a lot of people have said, well, what can we do? Can we launch a general strike of sorts? I see them in my comments every single day. Well, this general strike, this economic blackout in Minnesota is set to work. Why? Because hundreds of businesses today have closed their doors, have shuttered their windows. They will not be open, and instead are going to pay their employees to remain at home. The unions have endorsed this strike, and it's a massive general strike and protest of what we're seeing right now in Minnesota.
Want a good laugh? Check out this breaking news from Aaron Parnas.
We have some news right now. The Department of Homeland Security and ICE are upset this morning that their agents can't use a restroom in Minneapolis, Minnesota without being confronted by protesters. Protesters are not letting ICE agents use restrooms at local gas stations without confronting them on why they're there and their position on various issues.
Wait, ICE agents are upset they can't use public bathrooms because people are yelling at them? I don't give a shit, and apparently neither can ICE agents. Keep up the good work, Minnesota.
Forget taco, alright? This motherfucker's gone full tamale. Tanned asshole makes America look embarrassing. Yo, sundowning Donnie's out here, dropping 2-hour dementia and ivermectin-fueled rants, talking shit about windmills and confusing Greenland for Iceland. Doesn't even know what fucking country he's trying to invade. At one point, he told Pete Kegsbreath to bomb Narnia, alright? Only backed off when Pete explained that's where Benny Johnson lives, deep in the closet. Yo, then he asked Pete Kegsbreath if Santa's workshop has oil. Yo, next see Napoleon embarrassed himself so bad, Taco Bell had to go and try to defend his sundowning ass on Twitter. Then he went home and stayed up till 4 a.m. pulling a torta. The orange racist tweets again. Bob the bankruptcy billers, he's running an entire Mexican buffet at this point. Enchilada, egomaniacal narcissist, can't handle intelligence, logic, authority, decency, or accountability. Something for everybody at the Trump bullshit buffet. What do you want? An empanada? Or, extremely mentally paralyzed authoritarian needs attention, demands applause. You know it's time for Congress to invoke the 25th Amendment when the president's gone full, chimichanga. Right? Cheeto Hitler is mentally incompetent. Clearly has absolutely no grasp of anything.
It's time for the Trucker John Livestream. Gonna be a good time, oh yeah. The Trucker John Livestream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time, good time. Such a John Gonna be a good time. Gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Well, yeah.
Testing. Let's see. Can you guys hear me? Test. We still got the echo. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Testing. Let's see. Can you guys hear me? Okay, I think this is coming through okay. Test. We still got the echo. I think it was just the video was coming through echoing. Sorry, I couldn't do anything about it. I was trying to. I can't get to this drop-down menu when that was playing. I think what happened was yesterday, remember we were playing with the audio mixer, and I guess I'll go ahead and shut it off for now because I don't know if I'm going to be playing any videos, but I don't have any clips to play. Let's see. I don't know. Let's just go back to this. All right, let's see. Why is this not closing? All right, can you guys hear me? Let's see. 1, 2, 3. You still hear me? Yeah, I guess I'm on. So I saw that you guys on my phone. It wasn't echoing. I was hearing the playback through the phone. Through the phone speaker. It sounded fine. I saw the comments. You guys were talking about it was echoing. So I turned up my volume on my iPad, and I could hear the echo. To be frank, it didn't sound that bad to me. It was an echo, but it wasn't that bad. So then I went ahead and I put my show on my TV. Again, I could hear the echo. I didn't think it was really that bad, but you guys, man, you guys must have really sensitive ears or something. I mean, you guys, thanks for putting up with it, but I really didn't think it was that bad. But apparently, for some of you, it was vomit inducing or something. I don't know. Sorry about that. But anyhow, here we are. It's 11:56 a.m. here in Pacific Time Zone. It's almost noon. It is 56 degrees? Looks like 58. 58 degrees. We're supposed to get to 63 today. Overnight low 42 here in beautiful Las Vegas. Thanks for popping on in. I do appreciate you. I thought the intro was pretty good. I will repost it after the show without the echo. So if you guys want to check it out without the echo, go ahead and do that. I thought it was pretty good stuff in there. Stuff that's going on. So if you want to check it out, we'll do that later. Anyhow, I see James Jaramillo is here. Nola Carnes is here. Sandy Foltz. Hello, Sandy, with a $2 super sticker. Yippee to Sandy Foltz. Thank you so much. I do appreciate you. Fancy's here. We've got Drofner 100. Don't believe I've seen Drofner before. And with some really unusual posts that make no sense, but thanks for helping the algorithm, I think. I don't know what that's about. Aaron's here. Hello, Aaron West. We got Aaron. Thanks for being here. Yeah, there's Fancy. I'm just going down real quick. DPD's here. Hello, DPD. Mad Mac is here. Hey, Slava Ukraine. Good to see you. Yeah, Mad Max says Hal automatically sent everyone to Boston Brian. Yeah, I know. I saw that. I had. In fact, I have Boston Brian on right now on the TV. He's playing the same clip that I had in my intro right now with the Fanone thing. the confrontation with the asshole. That's what Brian is playing right now, and I beat him to it. I had it in my intro. So there, Brian. I beat everybody to these. It seems like a lot of the clips I have, I'll see on the other shows later on. But you can see it here first on Trucker John, right here on Trucker John channel. James Jaramillo's here. He's at both places. James is at Boston Brian and here as well. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. Nick Rich is here. I hit the like echo. Aaron West, there's an echo. Yeah, there was an echo. Thanks, and I appreciate you guys letting me know, because I wouldn't have known if I hadn't seen, because I can see the chat on the phone, and I can see it on the iPad, but I can see in real time the chat. Like I said, I checked it out. I didn't think it was. If I thought it was really horrible, I would have stopped it earlier. But I didn't think it was that bad. But I mean, I thought it was still listenable. But so thanks for sticking in there with it. And if I could have just easily shut it off, I would have, but I couldn't. Walter McCarovich is here. Walter says, "Hi, Trucker John. Have you ordered your Dropkick Murphy shirt yet? They have them on eBay for around $25. No, I have not. But I do believe that did I save? Yeah, I got the photo of Officer Fanone wearing his. That's what it says on the back. On the front, I think it just says Dropkick Murphys, and on the back, it says fighting Nazis since 1996. Is that when the Dropkick Murphys formed? So yeah, I guess you can go on eBay and get one for $25 right there. A lot of restraint shown by Fanone, because apparently the guy who was in court there, that he was, getting into it with, threatened his family and threatened his kids and stuff. And Fanone was showing a lot of restraint there, because when you threaten a man's family like that, do so at your own peril, I guess. Let's see. MJ Daniel up there from Washington State says that the entire fucking Republican Party knew DJT. Maybe headline. Oh yeah, they know it. They all know it. You know it. I know it. They know it. We all know it. Everybody knows. And yet we still have to go through all this charade, Anna Moore's here. Hey, Anna, good to see you. Says hello, TJ and fellow loungers. Hope for a great day and a safe weekend ahead. There's an echo going on. Yeah, I know. I apologize. I think it's because it was I guess I could. Well, I could test my theory, but I think I fixed it now. I mean, I'll just have to remember that if I do play a clip during the show, I had to. It's a whole thing. I don't know. We're still figuring that out, I guess. Or I am, anyhow. Yeah, MJ doing a joke about Lou Gehrig, a Lou Gehrig joke. I think that's who that is. When Lou Gehrig made his famous speech at Yankee Stadium, and he had been diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease, which is really weird because his name was also Lou Gehrig, and I guess he was, that famous speech when he was talking to the crowd there because he was leaving baseball because he couldn't play anymore because he had Lou Gehrig's disease. Yeah. So anyhow, Mad Matt Cassidy is cute. Simmer, old man. We know she's cute. Simmer down. Let's see who else we got in here. Who else is in this driver's lounge? putting up with the echo. Nick Rich, fix the echo, TJ. I tried. I couldn't fix it. And I really didn't think it was that bad, to tell the truth. I listened to it on my iPad and on my TV. I heard the echo. I personally didn't really think it was, I mean, it's not ideal. It's not how I would normally want, I wouldn't keep it that way forever. But I didn't really think it was that bad. Like, I'm going to leave the show or I'm going to go puke now. Or I didn't think it was that bad. But that's just me. I guess I have high tolerance. I have a high tolerance for these things, I guess. Fancy says the echo is awful. So yeah, I mean, because Fancy is a perfectionist and expects perfection at all times. So I hear you. You know. DPD says we need someone like Jack Smith as our next Attorney General. That would be nice. I think. Yeah, but definitely an improvement over fucking Merrick Garland. Bonnie Balcom, the echo will pass. Bonnie Balcom, I'll pretend I'm high until it's over. Yeah, I hope I didn't cause any flashbacks, any acid flashbacks, or anything like that. Anamore, I'm glad the subtitles are on. Petrazi 1920 is here. Hey, Petrazi, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. Thanks for coming on in. Little Carnes, what a trip. Squirrel Girl is here. Hello, Squirrel Girl. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate you. Nick Rich, John's probably having his breakfast. Well, I was eating a breakfast sandwich, but I knew what was going on, and then when I heard the echo, I thought, well, I think we can just play it through. We can just, because I was thinking, should I just end it, or should we play it through? And I thought, well, it's not that bad. Again, I guess we're all different. MJ Daniel says the monsters are in charge of the USA, and it's very close time for torches and pitchforks. Well, I do like that they are not letting them take a shit. That might be the way to get them out. If there's no place for them to shit, they're probably these fuckers are such fucking animals that they'll probably start just shitting in people's lawns or something. But I think the Minnesota police, they need to just start arresting these motherfuckers. DPD says, my husband and I don't leave from Minnesota until Thursday, and my parents and in-laws are joining the resistance. Good for you guys. Good for you. If you see the jolly ginger guy, tell him Trucker John said hi. You might run into him. He's always there. I think he's back home right now to be with his family because of the big storm. I guess apparently coming through there, but he'll be back. He'll be back probably. Marty Malcolm, wait, I thought the cabinet had the 25th president. So did I. And I did hear that in the clip. I think someone said, was it in the clip? Maybe the cabinet has to like initiate it, and then maybe Congress has to vote on it or something like that to like pass it. I'm not sure, Anamore. Or was Anamore? Oh no, Bonnie Malcolm. I'm not sure, Bonnie Malcolm. No echo now. Oh yeah, that's because I stopped it. I'm going to be sneezing again. I'm still sneezing. I'm still having sneezing attacks. Oh man. I'm gonna sneeze again. Once I start, It seems like once I start, it just starts the whole thing. Anyhow, all right. Hopefully that will be the last one. MJ Daniel says only 30 when we got up this morning. Oh, 30 degrees Fahrenheit, I presume. 30 degrees when we got up this morning. I feel lucky, but our hummingbird was even there to say good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. I'm a beautiful little cute little hummingbird. And I'm here to say good morning. Marty Malcolm, birds aren't real. Okay. I think we're going back to that acid flashback there. Mad Mac Fanone was ready to kick that asshole's butt. Yeah, I'm glad he didn't, because that would have looked bad. But Belfast Bob's here. Belfast Bob from Ireland. Thanks for coming in, Belfast Bob from Ireland. Good to see you. Stephanie B. Stephanie B is here. Hey, Stephanie B from Central California, somewhere near Stockton area. I shouldn't be doxing people, but I don't mean to. But you did mention where you're from. That's the only reason I know. Where the general vicinity where someone might be from is because they tell me. Belfast Bob, he must be young. Been fighting Nazis since 1979. I think Fanone is older than that. I think that's about in reference to the band, maybe. Dropkick Murphys, 1996. But yeah, Fanone. How old is Fanone? He's got to be born at least somewhere. At least early 80s, late 70s, maybe. I don't know how old the guy is, but probably in the 70s, mid 70s. He was born probably the same age as you, Belfast. What'd you say you were? 76, 70? Oh wait, since 79. So anyway, whatever. But let's see here. Aaron West said I had my phone interview this morning. It already booked the second interview for Tuesday morning. Well, good for you, Aaron West. Maybe things are looking up for you. Mad Max says that was the guy who went on a tirade saying, I'm on the new committee and we know it was the Capitol Police that caused the whole riot. He was so far up Orange Peto's ass that he saw his tonsils. Are you talking about, that's the guy, what was it, Rakel, the guy who was arguing with Fanone there? Yeah, okay, DPD, I know, all caps, and I just saw this just before I started downloading the intro, but okay, anyhow, DPD says, attention, there are the disgraceful 7, Representative Henry Cuellar, Texas, Representative Don Davis, New York, Representative Tom Suozzi from New York, Representative Jared Golden, Maine, Representative Lauren Gillen, New York, Representative Vicente Gonzalez from Texas. Yeah, they voted to extend funds or give funds to ICE, and I disagree with the vote. I disagree with them. I don't think they should have done that, and I think it is disgraceful. They didn't have to vote for it. Even if you're like, I was ready to give maybe Cuellar and Gonzalez a little bit of a pass because they're in Texas and all this kind of shit. But you know what? Fuck it. There are some things when you have to sort of be tactical and about your vote, because the district you're in, it might not be bright blue, it might be a little purplish, it might be whatever, and you're in Texas, so who knows. But you know what, there's some things that you just have to take a stand on, and so they didn't. So I agree, they're disgraceful, and yeah, we should go ahead and put them on blast. Let's see. Barney Malcolm says, shit's so insane. I miss having John McCain in the Senate. I didn't agree with his politics. And I didn't agree with his politics either, but I don't even think John McCain, if he were still alive and still in the Senate, I don't think he would even be able to, keep things under control or whatever. 70-fold. Some videos need to go. They're stupid. Sandy, I'm sorry. I know you don't like them, and I'm always happy to have you here in the chat. You've duly noted. You've okay. Duly noted. You don't like them. I'm not going to change how I do it, but probably. But I appreciate your opinion, and now we can move on. Okay. Mad Max says I couldn't understand what some of the people were saying during the echo. All right, sorry about that. Well, I'll like I said, I'll post it again like I do, and there won't be an echo for when I repost the intro. So, unless you want me to replay it right now, I mean, I could play it right now, and it would, without the echo. It's about a 26-minute, I think, echo. I mean, echo 26-minute intro. Or yeah. So I could play it if you want to. Bill Carr says, I felt like my vertigo was acting up. Really? I think of vertigo as being visual, not audio. But I don't know. I mean, I've never really had vertigo. I don't think. Belfast Bob, some of the student housing I lived in were colder inside than outside in the snow. I remember I lived in when I went to New Mexico Highlands University, in the Highlands of New Mexico. That place was cold. And I mean, I grew up in the desert my whole life, and we could get some pretty cold winters. Don't get me wrong, especially back then before global warming really set in. We could get some pretty cold winters in the wintertime. But when I was in New Mexico, going to college, that was like the coldest. I think that was the coldest weather I've ever lived in, where the daytime high would be 14 degrees, and it'd be bright and sunny, not a cloud in the sky. There was some snow on the ground because it had snowed earlier, but the daytime high would be 14. That's the high. That means the overnight low, I think, was single digits. And I'm like, fuck. And they wouldn't turn on the heater it's kind of like I guess you could call it a dorm. Yeah, it was kind of like a high rise building, like an apartment building. But yeah, it was dorms. They were like dorms, but and you didn't have like there were no individual controls for each unit, for each room. It was all controlled by one central thing. Like they would turn the heater on. Or maybe we did have controls, but they wouldn't turn the heater on. It wouldn't. There was no access to, no way of turning on the heater. I don't know. And I remember complaining about it because this was still like in like October or something, and they were like, "We don't turn the heater on until I think November 1st, like no matter what." And I was like, "It's fucking freezing outside. It's like 8 degrees right now. I mean, at night, And they're like, this is how we do it. Get extra blankets. They're like, well, we can get you some extra blankets. I was like, yeah, please give me some extra blankets. I had like a fucking down, sleeping bag. I had blankets. It was fucking freezing in that fucking dorm room. They would not turn the heater on until fucking November 1st, no matter what. It could have got down to fucking 30 below, and they weren't going to turn the goddamn heater on until November 1st. I was like, fuck me. So I had to go through all pretty much because it started getting cold like in October. You know, probably I don't know when it was. I don't know if it was mid-October. I forget now. But, so I don't know how many weeks we went when it was fucking freezing. And you know, I didn't have a space heater. I guess I could maybe got a space heater, but I'm, you know, I don't know. I'm in college. I don't know about that shit. You know. I probably should. Now thinking back of it, I was working at Kmart at the time. I had a part-time job. I could have probably just went over and got a space heater for $20 or something. But anyhow, all right. So Belfast Bob says, "Bless you, TJ. Thought I had got over my flu, only to wake up a few days ago wheezing and coughing. I've just got some sort of. I don't feel sick in any other way. Just I have this like sort of a. I guess you could call it a head cold. I don't know. DPD, bless you. So I got must have been when I sneezed. So thank you guys for blessing me. DPD says, "Bless you, TJ, and to Infinite and TJ. You may want to start using water for your CPAP because you are breathing in dry heat, which irritates the sinuses, which could be causing your sneezing." And he is 45 years. Fanone, 45. So what is that about 1981? Was 81 really? Wow, that makes me feel so old. Wait, 80? Am I doing the math right? About 81 or so? I mean, because 81, I mean, I was already out of high school. I was going to college when Fanone was born. Anyhow, that's just, you know, time does this thing. Nola Carter says measles are spreading fast, over 700 cases, so watch out for the measles. Belfast Bob, I was 10 years old in 1979. We started bashing fascists early there. There you go. I turned 19 in 1979. Right? Yeah. Yeah. In October. Oh, Belfast says, sorry, 13. Okay. So we are about, what did I say I was? 19. So we're about 6 years apart in age. Belfast Bob and I. Sonny Foltz, show good stuff on your videos, not stupid crap. Well, I'll tell you what, when our federal government stops doing stupid crap so much and so prevalently, and then maybe I'll stop. Belfast Bob had to 50 Cent Rich. The fuckers thought they were the cream of British youth, so we helped them, put them back into the tins they crawled out of. DPD 5844 says the president has to voluntarily transfer power due to illness. The power is passed down to the VP. It also would include the majority of the cabinet to comply. The parties then must send a letter, I guess, to Congress. So there's a whole thing. It's a whole process. It's a whole process. Sandy's going to make some homemade chili. And you know what? Things go better with homemade chili. Nick Rich, 20 past the hour. Yeah, I'm pretty much caught up with you guys. Pretty much caught up with you. Sandy, it's very cold and snowy in Niagara Falls. Chili would be good for this weather. Absolutely. It sounds great. And I bet you make a really mean, good chili. Barney Balcom says, yeah, what Nick Rich said, no one wants to watch me comment about some stuff. Mad Mac, I like the intros, especially when they're not echoing. Anamore says, I'm in my late 60s. Measles can't hurt people my age. Boo to non-vaxxers. Is that true? Because I'm in my mid-60s. I think I got all my shots. You know, am I safe? I don't know. I hope so. Belfast Bob, they organized big 70s, National Front, British Movement, Column 88, to name a few. Started big marches, then tried marching through neighborhoods like Brick Lane, big Jewish area. So what was the deal with Ireland and England? Is because Ireland doesn't like English ruling them, and they don't like their exclusion to or like, I don't know, to be Catholics or not to be Catholics, or I know I've known the issues, and I'm just kind of foggy on it now. I know at one time I kind of had a grasp on the whole IRA and everything, and but now I'm a little foggy on it. I don't know. I haven't thought about it in a long time, so maybe Belfast Bob could, I don't know, give us a quick little refresher course on all that shit. Nick Rich, fully vaxxed and relaxed, shingles, double dose last year. Oh, I think I'm good on my shingles. Is that the one where you need to do it every 10 years? Because I came down with shingles because I don't think I had ever had a shingles shot. Right? And I got it about, I think, about almost 10 years ago. Wow, I think this would be like, this year would make it 10 years. I got shingles when I was on the road, and at first I didn't know what it was. I just knew I felt like shit. I just thought it was a really bad flu. And I remember I was in the truck, I was in Denver, I was at a truck stop, and I just thought, well, I'm just going to sleep it off, and see how I feel. And it just kept getting worse and worse. It was kind of like the year before when I had pancreatitis. It's the same thing. I thought, oh, it's a flu, and I'll just sleep it off, and I'll get better. But it wasn't getting better, and I took myself to emergency for the pancreatitis like that night. And I ended up being in the hospital for a couple of nights, and they treated the pancreatitis. The next year, I got shingles. And I was like, and I didn't know what shingles was, just like I didn't know what pancreatitis was, But it wasn't getting any better. I was getting worse and worse, and so I was like, I got to go to the hospital. So I remember I rented a car and took myself to emergency because I was at a truck stop, and I didn't want to Uber because I didn't know, I wasn't sure where I was going to go. I was still trying to figure out, should I go to just emergency or what should I, I didn't know what to do. So I thought I'll just rent this car, and instead of Ubering all over the place. So I got a car, and I ended up just taking myself, I found a hospital, took myself into emergency, and they go, "You've got shingles." I'm like, "What?" And they're like, "It's a good thing you came in because it was getting really bad." And I think they just put me on an IV drip of antibiotics, and they prescribed a bunch of more antibiotics for me to get later. I think they gave me did they give me a shot? Was it too late to get a shot? I forget now if they gave me a shingle shot or not. They might have gave me a shingle shot too. But that's been 10 years now already. Wow, time flies. So I don't know if I need to get another shingle shot or not. DPD says another fun fact about the CR bill they had included, where it was illegal for them to disappear U.S. citizens, but at the last minute, they removed this measure and they passed it anyway. Yeah, and I think I had, that was the Jess Craven segment of yesterday's intro. Jess Craven, she's the lady, she's kind of in her 50s or whatever, kind of red hair type. I think that was her segment from yesterday. Belfast Bob, it's complicated, TJ. Okay. All right. I think it might be fair to say that there's maybe plenty of blame to go around as far as the whole, Irish England thing, I don't know. Brooklyn SJU, chicken pox. Okay. Yeah, Nicholas says I thought it came from chicken pox. Yeah, okay. That's why Brooklyn said that. Okay. Yeah, now I remember. Yeah, it came from chicken pox. Belfast Bob, I'll keep it simple. Civil rights movement, mostly Catholic, one man, one vote, 1969. Every time we're brutalized by loyalist police, leading to basically civil war, then British Army sent in to protect Catholics. And I just say, hey, man, let everyone just believe what they want to believe and worship how they want to worship or not worship. That's my belief. Bad Max says, my poor Barney Lass golden retriever almost died from pancreatitis. It is very serious, and now her diet is very strict to keep her safe. Yeah, I ended up in the hospital. I was on the road. I was out on the road. I came down with pancreatitis. Drove myself to ER, parked my truck across the street from the hospital at a Home Depot because I didn't really see any truck parking at the hospital. So I parked across the street, walked through the parking lot across the street into the ER. I checked in, told them what was happening. I didn't say anything about pancreatitis because I had no idea. I just told them I was really sick. I told them I was vomiting, a lot. And I told them I'm not a person who vomits. I'm not a vomiter. And I go, I've been vomiting all day, all evening. So I don't know what's going on. They said, okay, take a seat. We'll see you, when we get you, when we get to you. So I'm waiting in the the waiting room, the lobby waiting room thing. And there was a lot of people in there. And so they're busy. But I don't know. I was probably waiting about 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. And I was sort of fighting the urge to vomit. And then all of a sudden I couldn't fight it anymore. And there was this happened to be like a waste bucket next to my chair. And I remember I just like fell to my knees here in front of everybody in the lobby and just vomited right into that wastebasket. And the receptionist saw it at her little window there. She saw the whole thing, and she's immediate like, I don't know. She's like, I don't know, code red or whatever. I don't know. She's like, we need assistance in the lobby and blah blah blah. So next thing I knew, I was like on a gurney thingy, or a rolling hospital bed, and they took me back, and then so I guess my advice is if you're an ER and you don't want to wait too long, just start vomiting. I don't know. And then they did like I think they did like an MRI on me or something. I don't know. They did something, or they did X-rays or something. What was it? Because they didn't know what I had. I didn't know what I had. They didn't know what I had. But then they also did like blood work. I guess it was the blood work that they figured it out, because they were like, yeah, your enzymes, I think, or whatever, are like way too high, or well, I don't even know what the exact terminology or whatever, but I think it was something to do with enzymes or proteins or whatever. And so then they're like, yeah, you have pancreatitis, and I'm like, what is that? And they're, so whatever. So they ended up admitting me into a room, and they had me on an IV. This really kind of limited diet type of thing. And I was in there for 2 nights and 3 days, I guess. I don't know. I got out on the third day, and I remember I was ready to go. I was by that kind of like third morning, I guess. I was like, okay, so when are you guys gonna let me out of here? Because I was feeling better and everything. And the nurse goes, and I'd been pretty much in bed, and just the only walking I had done was just to go to the bathroom. And I would just wheel my little IV thing into the bathroom, And the nurse said, well, she goes, they're not going to release you until you get up and start walking around, like in the hallway, it's like a, the wing of, there's like a kind of like a circle or whatever. And she's like, so as soon as the doctors start doing that, then they'll come in and see you, and they'll probably check you out and say you're okay to leave. So I was like, oh, okay. So I remember I hopped up out of bed, and you know how you wear you have those stupid hospital gowns and with no underwear on. And so I started walking out, and I thought I had it tied up okay, but it wasn't really tied up. So the nurse is like, she's like, hold on, wait a minute. She goes, let me close this up for you. So she tied the back up better, and so my ass wasn't hanging out. I was like, oh, appreciate that. And then I just started doing laps around the whole section of the hospital there, around the nurses' station and all that stuff. And I just kept walking and walking and walking. And then eventually, and then I went back to my room, and then I would go back and walk some more and go back to the room. And it wasn't too long. Probably, I don't know, maybe an hour or two later. I don't know. The doctor finally came in, and he's like, how you feeling, Mr. Fowler? And I'm feeling good, man. I'm ready to go. And so I guess he checked the chart, the clipboard, and kind of checked me out and said, okay, yeah, we're going to release you. I'm like, good, thank you. I go, my truck is parked across the street. I got to go make sure it's still there, And he goes, oh, okay, you're a trucker, huh? I go, yeah. So that's that story. Mr. Spock, how many rides did you get this week? Oh, 0. I got 0. I haven't gone to work all week, Mr. Spock. I know. I should. I don't know what's wrong with me. I just didn't go to work. Brooklyn, I'm guessing 6. It's 0. We're at 0. The thing is, guys, I know I sound like a wuss, but I don't. The thought of going on a 2-hour bus ride and then a 2-hour ride home, it just doesn't. It just makes me not want to go to work. I mean, just think about it. Okay, I get up at, I wake up at I don't know, 8 in the morning, and I start doing the clips and and I'm working on that and editing, and then I do the show. Then by the time the show is over, it's 1, 2 o'clock or sometimes later, and then I'm gonna make something to eat, use the restroom and everything, and but before you know it, it's like 3 or 4 o'clock in the evening. And then by that time, I'm like ready to settle back in, and I'm not ready to go out. You know, so it's hard. It's kind of hard, man. You know, I'm not ready to go out and walk to a bus stop and wait for the bus and then take a bus for 2 hours. You know, after being up all day, and so it's almost come to where either I don't do the show or I drive. It's almost like I can't do both. At least not without a car. If I had a car, that would be a whole different thing. But it's almost like either not do the show and go drive, or do the show and don't drive. That's kind of where I'm at. But I'm going to try to drive today because I got to at least get something on the books. So I'm going to try to just make myself get up and go, get on the fucking bus, take the 2-hour bus ride, or I might even just take an Uber, even though I hate spending $25 for a fucking Uber. Fucking hate it. But, you know, I don't know. We'll see. Miss Spuck, well, I was really off. My Schwartz is off today. Well, you know, if I'd gone to work on Monday and worked every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I probably would have had at least probably close to 30 rides. You know? Buy an e-bike. I don't have the money for an e-bike. I don't have the money for a scooter. I would if I could. Michael McAndrew says, John, I wish you would do what you need to do so we don't end up with another homeless video. I know, Michael. And by the way, thanks for being here, Michael. If I didn't say hi earlier. Miss Spock, Nick 56, Nick Rich is correct. What did he say? What did Nick Rich say? Oh, buy an e-bike. Yeah. Hey, man, I could. I would buy an e-bike. I'd buy a scooter. I'd buy a cheap car. I don't even have the money for that. So, Animal says, TJ, I totally understand. A 2-hour bus ride to get to work is hard, only to take the bus back home for another 2 hours. Yeah, and it's like, you know, and then I'm getting home at 3:30 in the morning. You know, it's just, that's why. And I've never really considered myself to be a lazy person, but I think being 65 has something to do with it. I don't have the energy I used to have, in my 20s and 30s, or even 40s, even 50s. I don't have the energy. I mean, life changes you. Age changes you, And I'm a little, maybe I'm sundowning like Trump is. In the evenings, I feel like taking a nap. In the afternoon, I don't feel like going to work. I feel like taking a nap, but I know I need to I need to buckle down and make myself go, at least so I don't end up homeless, like Michael was saying. So I'm going to really try. If I can get myself to work today and tomorrow, I could probably, maybe I can get 20 trips in or something, and that's still better than nothing. Maybe I'll get lucky and get some good tips. Maybe I'll get lucky, take some people to a strip club, which has a good kickback. That would be nice. But those are so random, it is total luck. Nick, search for you. I'm losing steam too. But yeah, it's just I'll get my shit together here. I'll get my shit together, All right, I think I had another couple memes. Well, let's see. We had that. I just had a Jack Smith one, where it's a quote of Jack Smith there, I guess. It says, Trump engaged in criminal activity. Jack Smith testifies Congress about his investigator. So, yeah, so we got that. Jack Smith is saying what everyone knows, even the Republicans know it, but they got to put on a show for Trump. Hey, we're sticking up for you, Trumpy. This is a big show for the Republicans to say, to let Trump know that they're sticking up for him. But everybody knows that Trump engaged in criminal activity. And like Jasmine Crockett says, Why would we? Why would we be so surprised? He's a 34-time convicted felon already. You know. So I had that there. Nick Rich says Jack Smith is cool. Aaron West says Trucker John has channel memberships and super chats. Yes, we do. Memberships starting at $1.99 a month. We got the super chats. We got the goal going. 0 for 5 so far today. You can also support the show by liking, subscribing, and sharing, which is a very important way, and it's free. So I can do that. Or you can buy me a coffee, because you know I like coffee. There. It even says coffee right there. So, yeah, you can buy me a coffee at that link there, buymeacoffee.com, and also PayPal. We got PayPal. If you want to help out with the show, keep us going. Belfast Bob says, Michael Punk for life, my friend laughing out loud. Michael Punk for life. I don't know. Oh, it's about, I don't know who you're talking about. MJ Daniel engaging in criminal activity now. Yeah, he's always, he always be criming. Donald Trump does not quit criming. He always be criming. Mad Mac, I said it many times. Elect a criminal, expect crime. But the the maggots, they'll just say that those are all lies. They will project onto us what it is that they do, which is, weaponize the justice system. And so they'll say that, this is just the Democrats, going after Trump. Even when it goes to E. Jean Carroll, they'll say that was, but he didn't really do that. He wasn't guilty of that. That was just a jury full of, Democrats or something. The 34 felonies, they'll just say, no, he wasn't really guilty of that. That was all trumped up, so to speak. The charge, all those fraud cases, that wasn't really fraud. They'll always excuse him, no matter how many crimes we convict Trump of. These cult members, these MAGA cult members, will always side with Trump, and they will never believe the charges. DPD, Lyft is more expensive. Of course I have the Lyft app. I have the Lyft and the Uber app. I always check them both, and Lyft is always sometimes a lot more expensive than Uber. I know people think Lyft is cheaper, but for some reason here in Vegas, it seems like Uber is always cheaper, and not. Sometimes it's only a dollar or two, but sometimes it could be $5 or $10 difference. In favor of Uber being cheaper. MJ Daniel, the average Republican voter does not give a fuck until what DJT does harms them personally. Yeah, they, I've heard him. I've heard him talk. I've talked to him in the cab or in the Uber or at the Trump rally, and they will defend Trump. They'll say it's all lies. All the accusations against him are lies. It's always lies. And, maybe you could get away with that if it was like one or two things, a few things here and there. But, I mean, we're talking dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of accusations and charges, and over and over again. This is not just one or two things that you could say, okay, maybe it's not true or whatever. I mean, we're probably talking hundreds or maybe thousands by now of charges and accusations, and they check out. They vet these things. They don't just, no one's just taking them at face value. They get checked out and vetted. Mr. Spock says, yeah, traveling time to work is a big factor. TJ, I think you answered it yourself. A long commute would logically need long hours. Working to maximum hours at work, maybe try 3 long days, then 2 days off. In order to do that, then like I said, it becomes a choice. Should I do the live stream or not? And I guess, I don't have to do the live stream. I could just stop doing the live stream. MJ Daniel says, MAGA and Republicans are so good at lying, they even lie to themselves. Buffett was a good thing. Progress waits for no man. Progress waits for no man. But just know that this too shall pass. We will be, at some point, done with Trump. Trump will be done with us. Trump will be done with this earth. And I don't think it's too far away as far as that's concerned. And I don't think it will be too much longer before we get control back of the Congress. And I don't think it'll be too much further after that we will get the White House back. But then what happens? My I guess fear, I guess it would be a fear, is, yeah, Spock says, do a live stream once a week. Yeah, I know. I could, believe me, I've thought about all that, just cutting down on the live streams. I used to only do 2 a week. I used to only do Tuesdays and Thursdays, And then as time went by, I added Saturday, and then time went by, and then I added, well, I might as well do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And now, the next thing I know, I'm doing basically Monday through Saturday. So yeah, I could cut back. But anyhow, going on to my fears about, maybe I'm getting out ahead of myself here, but because the first thing we need to do is concentrate on getting Congress back in November. And I know there's going to be obstacles there. We've talked about voter suppression. We've talked about Trump trying to just cancel the elections altogether, or doing whatever he can to block the elections, block voting. So we've talked about that. And so we need to concentrate on overcoming that and making sure we can vote. And then we get our votes in, okay, we need to make sure that we win back the House and we win back the Senate. And at least the House, at very, very, very least. But I think we have a good shot at getting the Senate too. But okay, we need to do that. But then once we do that, I'm afraid of how many Joe Mansions are we going to get? How many Kirsten Cinemas are we going to get in there? How many more John Fettermans are we going to have in there? I mean, well, actually, John Fetterman, he's a dick, but he still votes with the Democrats probably 98% of the time. But how many? And it only takes 1 or 2, as we saw before. Now, with Trump still in the White House, or any Republican still in the White House, that probably won't matter too much at that point. But then if we go into 2028 and we do get the White House back, we do get a Democratic president back, and we keep our House majority and hopefully have a Senate majority, then who's going to be the Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema of that Congress? And that's what I'm afraid of. That's why I always hope that we can get big enough numbers to even, make them irrelevant. It would be nice to have in the Senate at least a 67-seat majority, not just a 51-50 thing. It'd be nice to have 60, 65, 67. I think there's been times when we've had those kind of numbers before. It's not impossible. So yeah, that's the kind of thing I kind of fear about you know, and we all keep saying, okay, vote blue no matter who. Let's get the majority. Let's win back Congress. Let's get the White House. Well, if we do that, then the goddamn Democrats, they better fucking do some good shit. If it's anything we've learned, it's that we don't know how long we'll have it. We don't know how long we'll have a majority. The way things keep swinging back and forth. Yeah, it would be nice if people would learn their lesson and stop voting for Republicans. And I think it'd be great if we could get a nice 40 or 50 or 60-year run of just Democratic majorities, Democrats in the White House, and we could just be progressive as fuck and make up for lost time in terms of healthcare, in terms of the environment, in terms of wages for people, all that kind of shit. Make up for lost time. It'd be nice. But when we get back in power, we need to operate as though this could be your last day. This could be your last term. And we need to get as much shit passed as possible, as much good shit passed as possible. We need Medicare for all, as fast as possible. Hal Sparks talks about incrementalism all the time, and hey, I'm all for incrementalism. And I understand that not everyone could be like. There's lots of progressives that wouldn't even consider me to be a progressive, so I don't even know if I am a progressive. But there's lots of people that aren't as progressive as I am, and there's people that are more progressive than I am. There's a lot of people that are Democrats that would be, I guess, less progressive than I am. So I understand incrementalism. Like, you can't do maybe too much all at once. But when we've gone through decades of going backwards, when we count Reagan and the first Bush, 12 years of that backwardism, then another 8 years with W going backwards, and now we're on our second term of Trump going backwards, regressive, all these regressive policies. Like I said yesterday, they don't want to take us back to the 1950s. They want to take us back to the 1850s, or even further back. And so we go through all these years, all these presidencies, all these terms of their offices, going backwards. And then when we do get in, we spend all of our time just trying to play catch up all the time. Clean up their mess. We get things going. Things start rolling. And then the fucking American people, either they don't show up to vote and they let an asshole like Trump back in. So my message to the Democrats, if we take back the House and the Senate and eventually we get the White House, don't dilly-dally around and act like you got all the time in the world. You got to act like this is it. Strike while the iron is hot. We got to strike while the iron is fucking hot, man. And so that's my message to the Democrats out there, the Democratic politicians, the Democratic representatives and office holders. We got to strike while the iron is hot. So if we get back control, in this year midterms, like again, we're still going to have a Republican in the White House, but at least we can at least maybe stop Trump or Vance if he ends up being in there. We can at least stop them and slow them down, and we can play the obstructionist game. And then when we get the Democrat in 2028 in the White House, and we keep our majorities in the Congress, then it's like it should be like all full steam ahead. It should just be full steam ahead, man. We're going to enact our agenda. DPD was saying we should have a Project 2028. Our Project 2028 should be, we are going to go full steam ahead, and we've got everything on our platform, our agenda. We're going to fucking get healthcare for all. We're going to get fucking, we're going to raise taxes on the rich. We're going to get, we're going to take away all their loopholes. We're going to protect consumers. We're going to raise wage. We're going to get minimum wages raised up. We're going to get job training, education. We're going to do all the shit that we want. That'll be our project 2028. But it should be full steam ahead, nonstop. Don't let up off the gas. And we can't assume that we're going to win the next election. We can't assume that. Just act as though this is your one and only term. This is your one and only chance to get these things done, and then just keep doing it. Keep getting things passed. So that's my message to the Democrats out there. Don't rest on your laurels. Don't assume anything. DPD says, I never ever want to hear one more person defend a Trump supporter with the, oh, they are so kind, or they have a heart of gold. No, you can't support the orange pedophile. No excuses. AJ Daniel, that is what the primary is for. Don't do the job and get replaced. That is a chance you take. DPD says Henry Cuellar has already been bought and sold the moment the orange pedophile pardoned him. Mr. Spock, I'm going to make a yogurt cake today. That sounds good. Belfast, well, hopefully Trumpism is the kick in the ass you needed. Hopefully. Noel Carn says, I think Jack Smith did excellent. DPD says, CTJ, I don't think it would be that easy to mend bridges with our allies, considering the fact America never learns from the past. I mean, after all, a 79-year-old orange pedo was elected twice. I didn't say anything about mending bridges. I'm just talking about getting things done. Getting things done and not dilly-dallying and not not having this incrementalism attitude about it. It's got to be fucking pedal to the metal. MJ Daniel says, one way Democrats need to be more like Republicans, be more aggressive with the prosecutions and impeachments. I think if Thomas hasn't been replaced, which there is talk of, Trump might try to get Thomas to resign or something so he can replace him with a young, someone much younger in their 30s or 40s or something. But if Thomas is still around when we have control of the Congress and the White House, I say impeach his ass for sure. I mean, I think we've got pretty good evidence of all the bribes he's taken, all this shit he's taken. I think we probably could impeach Alito, impeach. I think we could impeach Kavanaugh. Bring back that testimony from all that rapey shit. And if we can't impeach them, then let's disband the court. I think we should disband the court anyhow, as we've talked about because of all the districts. Isn't there like 13 districts? So we should have 13 judges, justices. But that's the thing we can do when we get power back. Don't pussyfoot around with that. Don't, just fucking do it. We got the power to do it. Do it. DPD says Democrats also need to learn that you cannot trust the Nazis. I call them that because if it walks and talks like a Nazi, guess what? It's a fucking Nazi. Yeah, Nick Rich, 13 judges needed. That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, that could be another part of our. If we want to put together a project 2028, I think we should put expansion of the court. To 13. That should be on a, maybe we need to make our own little Project 2028 list. I know DPD has asked about that before. Maybe we need to make a list. And we can submit it to the Democratic Party. I don't know. Maybe. Anyhow, I think I will kind of have a short show today. Speaking about going to work and everything else. The earlier I get going is the better, because so then I won't be getting home at 3 or 4 in the morning. If I can get myself to leave early, I can come home earlier. But anyway, and I've been hemming and hawing about this for the last few months, Nick, and everybody, about reducing the number of shows and going and doing the work. This is not the first conversation that I've had with you guys about this. So I might just do fewer shows and just so I can go to work. At least, 3 or 4 days a week, go to work. So we might be doing fewer shows and stuff like that. So if that's the case, just know that, it's just the way it is, a matter of necessity or something. So, there's Nola Carnes with a $5 super chat, coffee money. Thank you, Nola. Yippee to Nola. Thank you so much. And there's a like and a thumbs up. Yeah, I need coffee money when I'm on the bus. Actually, I don't take coffee on the bus. But yeah, so, I guess, I was planning on doing a show tomorrow, right after Hal on Saturday. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do the show. I might just go to work. I might not do a Saturday show. So we'll see, because I feel like I might just go to work early and like I say, put in some long days and so we might skip the show tomorrow. And we'll see. We'll go from there. But anyhow, always be on the lookout. Keep your notification bell on, the thing that they have on your YouTube there. I think it's a bell, whatever it is. Yeah, and just always be on the lookout. We might be on, might not be on. I just need to get back to work and save up some money so I can get a car that'll get me to work. And then once I have a car, it's a 20-minute drive to work, so it wouldn't matter. You know what I mean? It's the 2-hour bus ride that's the thing that's fucking everything up. Yeah, DBD says, who wants to spend 4 hours on a bus? Yeah, it sucks. And then Aaron says, you do what you got to do? Yeah, I'm going to do what I got to do. Nolo says, love the shows from the cab. I could do that maybe once a week or something. I can't do it too much because it really does burn all my a lot of data, and it costs a lot of money, extra money. So but maybe once in a while I could do that. Maybe once every other week or something. I don't think. Hey, Danny Bear Sports Highlights, good to see you. Hey everyone, happy Friday. Happy Friday back at you. A good Friday to you. So I guess that's it. I think I should probably go ahead and we'll end a little bit earlier. Maybe we'll just do a raid over to Boston Brian. He looks like he's still on. Boston Brian is still on. Let's see, but let's just want to say real quick, thanks to Sandy Foltz for a $2 super chat and Nola Carnes a $5 super chat. Thank you guys for that. Oh, look at there, Squirrel Girl. $10 super. Yippee, Squirrel Girl. Thank you so much. Lunch money for tonight. Well, thank you. I appreciate you, Squirrel Girl. Thank you so much. And let me just go back to regular messages here. Thank you, Squirrel Girl. I appreciate that. Look at my guys. Today, Friday. Today is Friday, right? Right? Isn't today Friday? I think it's Friday. Yeah, it's Friday. All right, then. I'm just looking. Find the Wi-Fi. If I'm driving around, a Wi-Fi hotspot isn't going to do it. I mean, if I'm doing it as I'm driving, it won't work. And most of the Wi-Fi hotspots on the strip, because I have tried that when I'm waiting in a taxi line, and usually the Wi-Fi won't work when you're outside. I think the only one I found that really works is the one at MGM Grand, where I was able to get their Wi-Fi one time when I was in the taxi line. So it's all hit and miss, you know, and everything. And if you're driving around, you would be going on and off and on and off and on and off. So, Scroll Girl snack chat from the cab. What's for dinner? Yeah, I guess I could go on for that. You guys could watch me eat if you like watching me eat. I could go live for 20 minutes or a half an hour while I eat something. James says Bruss and Brian's wrapping up as well. Yeah, it looks like he's doing his thank yous or whatever. Anyhow, guys, I guess that's it for today. It's 1:09 my time. It's Friday. I guess Hal's coming back on again today later on. So go check out Hal if he is at 3. I don't know if he's traveling again or what he's doing, but maybe he's on. I don't know if the suffragettes are on today. I don't know. I can't keep up with everyone's schedule, but there's someone good to watch if you guys can find today. And be on the lookout. I might or I might not come on tomorrow. Or I might do another short show, maybe do an hour after Hal. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll just do like an hour just to chill out for a little bit. And then and if I don't go live tonight when I'm eating, I can let you know. I'll let you guys know whether or not I went to work or not. All right, guys, that's it for today. And I guess that's all we got. Let's see. Yeah, Chugger John, hopefully your freaking volume, your freaking audio will work. That was disappointing. You know, I was in the bathroom taking care of, my constitutional. I'm trying to listen to the show. And so I had the echo. Not only the echo of just being in the bathroom, then there was the echo coming out through my headphone. My earbud. I got earbuds. It was horrible, Trucker John. How do you expect to have any listeners or viewers with that type of shitty quality? What's going on here? I mean, I'm asking myself, why do I even bother with this guy, with the audio? I mean, come on. At least get that figured out. Or else I'm out of here, Trucker John. I'm out of here. Calm down, tough cookie. You're not going anywhere. It was a little echoey, I'll admit, but it happens. Just calm the hell down. Excuse my French, everyone. I got a little riled up there. Sometimes tough cookie, just riles me up, and I forget my manners. So anyhow, it was fine, Trucker John. It was fine. Don't worry about it. Anyhow, but yeah, whatever happens, Trucker John. If you want to do fewer shows or whatever, it's completely up to you. Maybe Tough Cookie and I, we could do our own show on the days that you're not doing a show. Maybe that's what we'll do. We should just do the Tough Cookie, Paul, the Purple Beard Guy show, and then you could go off and go to work. Huh? Sounds like a plan to me. We'll work it out. We'll see if we can work it out. But I'm just letting you know I'm available, Trucker John. I'm totally available for days that you don't come on. I'm available. But, yeah, I'm available too, by the way. Don't let Paul try to hoard in and get everything. I'm also available. All right, so we might be doing the Tough Cookie Paula Per Beard Guy show. I don't know. And you can go off to work. All right? Problem solved. There. Well, hey, problem solved. If only that were true. If only that were possible. Anyhow, guys, thanks for being here. I do appreciate you. Now all that's left is the words of wisdom, which is kind of ironic coming from someone who has very little wisdom. That person being me. But basically, I just get these from Reader's Digest or something. But dirty little secret. Are you guys ready for the words of wisdom? Write this down, and that's how good they are. Okay, ready? All right, so for today's words of wisdom are as follows.
Well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. Have some fun times, hopefully nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes, might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about door chimes, but if we did, I'd be only too glad. So hasta la vista, baby. The show is over, but could I ask you maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant, but I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. All screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stuck to truck driving, who I tried to kid. At least when I was out there driving, I could handle a skid. But doing this live stream, baby, has been a real kid. So I hope to see y'all again right here on Trucker John live stream. We're gonna do it again and again, right here in the Trucker John live stream. Yeah, the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream. This is where right here on the Trucker John live stream. Know it's time to say goodbye. The show is coming in. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. Rolling down the highway in my rusty old rig. I'm a retired trucker, but my spirit's still big. Living in Vegas, where the lights never sleep. Broadcasting my thoughts for the world to keep. From politics to pop culture, I've got it all. Sharing my views, no matter how big or small. Talking about food and movies and bugs, shining a light on all the social issues. No shows, I've driven through the desert, seen the city so bright. the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. For free. So you want to take a trip down Paradise Road, but it ain't that pretty, it ain't paved with gold. Everybody's got the dirty little secrets, everybody's got some things unknown. But if you ain't real careful, baby, it'll cut you down to the bone. Under all those bright lights, gotta learn to ignore the glitter. It's all about fight or flight, and you don't wanna do either. So go on down to Paradise Road, it'll make you wish that you were young. But all it'll do is make you feel old and regret trading in your love for lust. It's all just a big charade, it's all just one big game, and it ain't about love. It's all about the thrills. It's about staying in the hunt. It's about going in for the kill. So head on down to Paradise Road, that's where your friends are now. They're the people that nobody knows. So go ahead and make your big show. So live it up on Paradise Road, just don't let anyone know. It'll be your dirty little secret, it'll be your guilty little pleasure. Living a secret that the whole world sees, hiding in plain sight among the scum and the thieves. So damn hard to ever be pleased. Everyone wants to live the good life, everybody wants a piece of paradise. But where would you run? Where would you hide? What would you do to buy a little more time? Grandiose dreams of happily ever after are really just another day's end. And when the sun goes down, you just lay there wondering, can you really do it all again? You're praying for one last shot, you're hoping for one last big win. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along.
Show's over. I'm out of here, folks. Bye.